Good morning. This is the Paradise Unicorn Priestess bringing you day 282 of A Course in Miracles, the Yin translation where we use female words. This would be October 9th if you're starting at the new year. Is healing certain? Healing is always certain. It is impossible to let illusions be brought to truth and keep the illusions. Truth demonstrates illusions have no value. The teacher of God has seen the correction of her errors in the mind of the patient, recognizing it for what it is. Having accepted the atonement for herself, she has also accepted it for the patient. Yet, what if the patient uses sickness as a way of life, believing healing is the way to death? When this is so, a sudden healing might precipitate intense depression and a sense of loss so deep that the patient might even try to destroy herself. Having nothing to live for, she may ask for death. Healing must wait for her protection. Healing will always stand aside when it would be seen as threat. The instant it is welcome, it is there. Where healing has been given, it will be received. And what is time before the gifts of God? We have referred many times in the text to the storehouse of treasures laid up equally for the giver and the receiver of God's gifts. Not one is lost, for they can but increase. No teacher of God should feel disappointed if she has offered healing and it does not appear to have been received. It is not up to her to judge when her gift should be accepted. Let her be certain it has been received, and trust that it will be accepted when it is recognized as a blessing and not a curse. It is not the function of God's teachers to evaluate the outcome of their gifts. It is merely their function to give them. Once they have done that, they have also given the outcome. For that is part of the gift. No one can give if she is concerned with the result of giving. That is a limitation on the giving itself, and neither the giver nor the receiver would have the gift. Trust is an essential part of giving. In fact, it is the part that makes sharing possible, the part that guarantees the giver will not lose but only gain. Who gives a gift and then remains with it to be sure it is used as the giver deems appropriate? Such is not giving, but imprisoning. It is the relinquishing of all concern about the gift that makes it truly given. And it is trust that makes true giving possible. Healing is the change of mind that the Holy Spirit in the patient's mind is seeking for her. And it is the Holy Spirit in the mind of the giver who gives the gift to her. How can it be lost? How can it be ineffectual? How can it be wasted? God's treasure house can never be empty, and if one gift is missing, it would not be full. Yet is its fullness guaranteed by God. What concern, then, can a teacher of God have about what becomes of her gifts, given by God to God, who in this holy exchange can receive less than everything? It makes sense for today's passage to say that healing is always certain, considering it says that we never left home. All of this is an illusion, and that our waking to that is certain. It is, in fact, already done. And as it has been described, it is like watching a movie play out of something that has already happened. And patience is one of the traits of the advanced teacher of God, because they know that the healing is certain. They know that the waking and the returning home is certain. And they don't concern themselves with time, because time is an illusion. All the things that we are perceiving here are an illusion, and they trust in love. So there's no concern about it. And it does explain, as it has explained before in the Course, that sudden healing can be very distressing. For those that yearn for healing, they might wonder, how can this be so? How can it be that the very thing that one has wanted for many years, perhaps their whole life, could be disturbing? On some level, I take it on faith that this is true. I have had it explained to me how our limitations have become our identity. In fact, if we consider the ego, the separate self, in all its many, many limitations, think how very attached we are to our identity, which is one of the reasons why the Course tends to be hard for the people who encounter it. It certainly has been for me. We don't know how to imagine ourselves without limitations. We don't know how to imagine ourselves not as the self that we have come to see ourselves as in this life, the only self that we are currently aware of. The Course explains to us that the Holy Spirit is also us. In fact, it's the only part of us that's actually real and true, as is illustrated in this passage when it talks about how in the healing process, the Holy Spirit in the giver and the Holy Spirit in the receiver are communing. They are making a connection. The Holy Spirit that is inside of the one who thinks that they are sick seeks the healing, just as the one in the healer seeks to offer the healing. And of course, they are one and the same. That it is the sameness in us all that is, in essence, working behind the scenes, working on a level that we're not aware of. This all seems very mysterious to us shards that think that we are broken, separate off small pieces. But to God, it's not mysterious at all. It's simply bringing the illusion closer to something that is love until we are ready to let go of all illusions. It is the sweetening of the nightmares to bring a happier dream that is still illusion, it is still form, but it is happier. It is more loving. It is a form in which everyone wins. This explains how that can be scary. And in today's lesson, it will talk about how love can be scary for us. In fact, if it weren't scary for us, we wouldn't be entrenched in these limited, seemingly separate, small identities. We are afraid of waking up to that we are all one and the illusion being lost entirely, because that is what would happen. We are reminded it all is nothing. Making it a happier dream just is a gentle way of waking, getting us all to the point where we feel safe and secure and loved and loving enough to let it go. I love that that's the message. It's not meant to be sudden or jostling, a destruction, an explosion of all that we thought we loved. Instead, it is a sweetening of all that we are currently offering our love to until we realize we don't need it anymore. Isn't that kind and gentle? After we review what is the Holy Spirit, which is found in show notes, we go on to lesson 282. I will not be afraid of love today. If I could realize but this today, salvation would be reached for all the world. This, the decision not to be insane and to accept myself as God herself, my mother and my source, created me. This, the determination not to be asleep in dreams of death, while truth remains forever living in the joy of love. And this, the choice to recognize the self whom God created as the child she loves, and who remains my one identity. Mother, your name is love, and so is mine. Such is the truth. And can the truth be changed by merely giving it another name? The name of fear is simply a mistake. Let me not be afraid of truth today. There it is. It comes out and says it. Mother, your name is love. That's it. That's the name of God. Love, God, interchangeable. They are the same thing. When we are afraid, it means we think that our name is fear. The ego thinks its name is fear. That's why it fights and struggles and seeks to be at the top, pushing others down. It sees scarcity. It can't imagine absolutely everyone winning the jackpot lottery, because that's not how the ego set things up. The ego set up an illusion where that would be impossible. So let's let go of that illusion of scarcity. Let's return to the abundance that is the truth, and that is God. And happy practicing.